Hello, my name is Sarai Garcia Poblano. The following video you're going to watch is my interview with Catherine Dunsig-Smith. I hope you enjoy. Have a nice day.
I'm Kate Dunsig-Smith. I am the Senior Design Architect at HDR Architecture here in Phoenix, Arizona, where I lead the studio in design and the culture of design. And then I also am an instructor of architecture at the Design School of Arizona State University, where I teach architectural studios.
What key life experiences have formed who you are today?
Getting to meet some of the luminaries of our time, but also in school, making a lot of connections. My friends and colleagues influence me all the time as well.
How did you become passionate and involved in design?
I always wanted to be an architect since I was young, before I knew what it was called. I've always really liked design. I've always really been engaged with that, like I said, from a young age.
And what are your core values and how are they reflected in your practice?
I grew up in the Detroit area. The big values in the communities where I grew up is basically you leave something better than you found it. That with every kind of vein that I do, thing that I take on, that seems to be an underpinning where, our studio practice at work, I'm always trying to figure out ways of making it better. It's not just in what we do, but how we treat people, and how that creates that collaborative environment where everyone feels included and instrumental.
How would you describe your design process? Your design thinking, how you visualize things, and how it comes into realization?
I have to gather a lot of data personally, history of the site, clients' needs and wants. And I have to get really, if it's architecture that I'm designing, if there's a site involved, I have to get the site, I have to get it big. And I have to think, I literally have to kind of sketch out all these things, basically all at once and layer them. Just understanding each layer.
How do you collaborate with other individuals to realize to create your work?
Individuals are key. And at each point in the process, listening to everybody, I think it's really, really key. I'm only one person. I don't have all the points of view. And for me, to be inclusive of the points of view and different experiences that people have is also very important, so that the design ultimately represents different groups of people, and because it's made for different groups of people. Fundamentally, architecture, unless you're designing somebody's home.
Where do you think design is going?
Design is getting more collaborative. Design is getting more technical. Now, most students like yourself have to understand the various aspects of sustainability and how they actually get steeped into the design process. It's evolving, it's changing, it's great. I think that we should fully embrace AI, not as the generator of what we do, but we need to know how to harness that generator and use that to our advantage, to make things easier and include a completely different set of elements that maybe we didn't think of before.
What are the biggest challenges that you face?
The daily struggle of, how do you manage the professional life and how do you manage the personal life? How do other people see us? How do we integrate with those people? How does licensure get defined? Who does that defining? How do we tell them what we want and how we define that? And then there's the technology and not being daunted by the technology.
And what advice would you give to a young student like myself?
If you really want something, go after it. It's very easy for people to say no. It's harder for people to say yes to something, but you can turn no into a yes, through tenacity. I mean, you have to use that judiciously, and don't let things that you think are mistakes define you. And if you keep learning, just make sure that you're continuing to learn, because that's what ultimately people look for.